What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy, Luciferian Prince, coming at y'all once again. Well, hope everybody's doing well. Everybody's in good health. Everybody's all right. Everybody's doing okay. For the most part, here's my disclaimer. If you're watching this video around children, please remove them from your immediate vicinity because my videos aren't for children. Simple as that. Put it out there. It is what it is. The title of this video is going to be called Red Status. Red Status, emphasis on red, because this is the ideological premise on which a lot of melanated people have to face in this particular plight in 2022. Well, ad infinitum. And prior to 2022, and what may come later on after 2022. We're going to start here today. Okay? Now, if this topic offends you or you support the opposition in this topic, then you can stay. I welcome for you to sit and get an unbiased and an intellectual approach to it as opposed to an emotional one, and get the logic behind what I'm saying. Simple as that. Now, we're going to start with this situation. And I know that it's been in the media and it's been controversial and it's been very, people have been very voice first about it, and yet the process keeps going. Now, there was a situation where a young man named Jalen Walker was gunned down by police. Now, this wasn't your normal shooting, okay? You ask me, I think that it was particularly in public assassination, assassin initiation. I tried to merge both words together. Assassination. It's what it is. Assassination and initiation at the same time. Okay, so the news media will always spin the narrative to make it seem like the person who was gunned down or the person who was the victim of this brutality was considerably the bad guy. You know, now, most people who go to a gun range, okay? If you go to a gun range, you know what I'm saying is true. Normally, you can't rapid burst. You know, you can't carry automatic weapons inside of a gun range and so forth and so on. There's certain regulations inside of a gun range, right? If you know, you know. But I'm going to leave the link to the video inside the video description for you to actually see it, because I'm not going to put it on my channel particularly, but you can actually go to the link for the news source to see the video. It's edited, but nonetheless, it still drives the message home. If you see the way that these police unloaded on this young man, literally, it looks like they were actually having a good fucking time. 90 rounds in less than 7 seconds? That's ridiculous. 90 rounds. It takes the average 357 round standard, 1 round to drop a grown man. Serious. 90 rounds from the department issue, what normally nationally is a Glock 40. So you mean to tell me that you pumped this dude, rest in peace to him, you pumped this dude full of 60 rounds plus? That's just what's being told by the media. We don't know how many actually hit him. But you mean to tell me that you pumped this dude full of this much ammunition, all because this individual was unarmed? And I try to tell a lot of people in this country, irrespective of what you may believe or what you may think, that's a modern day lynching. It is. For public display. It's just under the guise of legal effect. But nonetheless, it still is the same. Now, a lot of people might be like, well, he did this, he did that. You weren't there. But you saw the end result. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that that was overly excessive. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. However, It's always so cleverly planned and placed in effect that these things always happen around the time of elections. On a spiritual level, this is modern day Egypt and Sodom, period. And when you look at it for what it's worth, they use these situations. Most politicians will use these situations to bolster their political career, irrespective of whatever may have happened to that particular person. They use it to bolster their political career. You know, one particular group that I mentioned earlier in my previous segment of my videos when I was talking about BLM and so forth and so on, they ain't nowhere to be found because it was something that was not organic. It wasn't grassroots. It wasn't from the particular community of people in whom it was organized for. It was by a particular unseen hand, George Soros, who basically wanted to promote the leftist, rightist, contentionist factions against each other in order for them to keep doing what they do behind the scenes. Period. This is going to keep happening. But I will tell you that there will be one day, where somebody, and they showed you that in many movies, where somebody's going to particularly go at arms. Someone. It will happen. Because one thing that people don't understand is that wrong is wrong, irrespective of anything. Wrong is wrong. All death is wrong, and irrespective of anything. It's wrong. And for you to turn around and promote this as propaganda to bolster your political career, you're no better than the people who, and actually, you're trying to contend against. There is no variation. And the reason why I call it red status is because it's red. That means that particularly that it's danger. Danger incites what? Alertness, awareness. So it doesn't mean death. It just means red status. Be aware of what's going on around you. Understand your status and understand who you are in this country. I'll give you an analogy. If you hired workers, or let's just say you exploited workers, or you exploited people whom you called workers but were really called slaves, but then one day you legalized it to the extent where you knew that, well, we can't keep them enslaved, so we got to set them free. So now it's like a servant that's in your house that you basically have in your house that you built, but you don't have to pay them. How do you eradicate that? You eradicate it by other methods, systemically mostly. You eradicate it by systemic methods, and basically you say, hey, this is the way that we're going to get them out of here. We're going to get them out of here by dividing their families. We're going to get them out of here by violence. We're going to get them out of here by murder. We're going to get them out of here by any other way we can. But in reality, the house that was built by the people whom you deem servants were the people who actually owned the house. So when a lot of people understand and they say that we can't, well, you can't. When people say, well, we can't fight back, well, that's your ability. That's your inability to do something about something. That doesn't fall on a whole crowd of people. But at the same token, why do people sit back year after year and watch this shit happen? Because it couldn't have been one of my family members that I give two shits about. Because there's a lot of family members I don't give a fuck about. I'm going to be real. Straight up. But the ones that I do, if that was to happen to one of my family members, I wouldn't say it online what I would do. But I'm telling you right now, there's no protesting, there's no marching. Period. Not at all. Not at all. No. Because there has to come a time where people have to come to the realization and come to grips. Stop including yourself inside of a system that doesn't favor you. Period. And then once you understand that, now you understand the complexities behind why they don't want certain theories taught in school. Critical race theory is not a theory. It's critical race history. It's not theory. See, theory is something that cannot be based upon proof and evidence or empirical evidence based upon what you can prove historically. That's why they try to rewrite it every single fucking year. So they don't want you to notice stuff. Now, a lot of people are like, well, it's not about race. Well, notice I didn't write the narrative, nor did anybody else that looks like myself or of the ilk has written the narrative. No, this is something that has been foisted upon us that we have to deal with. We just can't bury our heads in the sand and pray and act like this shit's gonna go away. It's not. What we have to do is become more conscientious, more spiritually centered, and high vibrational in order to oversee exactly what's coming next. That's the way you're going to make it to your next step. Now, a lot of people might misconstrue this and say, "Well, you trying to get violent?" Well, if the spirit is violent and you're of a violent humanistic standpoint, then that's on you. I'm reaching out to my spiritual brothers and sisters, the ones who are enlightened and the ones who know exactly what their next step is. Period. There's nothing more. There's no variance in that. See, when you're enlightened as far as what you need to know as far as what your next step is, then you're going to make the proper steps. You don't have to fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. Last time I checked, when an engine comes, they go and hook up to a fire hydrant to put that fire out. So that fight fire with fire method, that's stupid. Simple as that. Red status. Knowing exactly where you are and what has been happening to you and the ilk of your kind for a long time. Straight. First time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. You don't like what I have to say on my channel? Turn the video off. You don't have to listen to anything I say. But if you are on this channel and you did listen to this point, hey, take it for what it's worth. Take it with a grain of salt. Simple as that. Just that easy. Peace, light, love. Y'all take care. Stay tuned. It is what it is. Stay tuned for the next upload. And agents, fuck you. Moral of the story. Black people don't care where they charge their phone. They could be at a funeral, and a socket could be right next to the casket. They'll still plug their phone in. Love y'all, man. Make sure if you subscribe to my channel, make sure you hit that notification button. You tap it, so every time I drop an upload, you'll be notified, because obviously YouTube is shadow banning. So, hey, it is what it is. Stick with me, rock with me. Stay tuned for the next uploads.